Hi everyone, thanks for watching. You can support our work on our website, ageoftruthtv. And please like our videos, subscribe to our channels on YouTube, BitChute and Brighteon. And remember to hit the bell for notifications. And follow us on Instagram and Facebook. To be sure not to miss any of our shows, you can sign up for our newsletter on our website, ageoftruthtv.
Hey,
How's it going?
how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Age of Truth TV. I'm Lucas Alexander in Copenhagen, Denmark. It's August 2025, and our special guest today claims to be part of the US Navy and Military Alliance and be part of the so-called White Hats, going on missions to protect people on planet and off planet, and to protect stargates in underground pyramids. He also talks about being sent on missions for the Galactic Council and having met several different versions of Donald Trump. That and a lot more with Ra Cloud. Good evening from Copenhagen, Denmark, and welcome to our viewers on Age of Truth TV. Please like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell for notifications. We have a fascinating guest for you today, a gentleman who claims to be part of the Navy, the Military Alliance, and he has quite an eye-opening and controversial story. So there's a lot to get into. So we say good afternoon to North Carolina and to our guest, Ra Cloud. Welcome on Age of Truth TV.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Great. So, I mean, this is quite a fascinating story. You, in a way, you claim to be part of the secret space program and the Navy intelligence and this alliance, and you've been on this plane, on this timeline, and you've been off-world as well. But please take the viewers into your world a little bit and explain your history and your background.
Okay. Well, once again, my name is Ra Cloud. I didn't start with the Navy Alliance. I didn't become a white hat in the beginning. Let's just go back and look at a part of my history of coming up. So I was raised in a poor neighborhood, very happy kid, born of 7. I was the last of 7 children. I incarnated from 7 density into this plane, this earth, a plane to come in and awaken at a certain point. At that time of growing up, I didn't know that I was going to be taken on this particular journey of light and dark, working with both aspects of duality within this world. When I was about 3 years old, I can recall beings coming into my bedroom, floating me out of the window, and I would board certain crafts. And at the time, you think that this is a part of being normal. You have no idea that it's going to take you down a road of a lot of things that's going to open up disclosure later in life. So I would meet with grays. Of course, everybody know what the grays are at this point. Gray color skin, very short, big almond-shaped eyes. Um, and we will go through certain formats of learning and training. Um, Joining certain galactic groups. I would see certain beings while in these, I would call it like play settings. There was other children around, uh, and we would speak like telepathically. It was nothing verbal at that age. And it was so clear and so precise. And these were like early psychic trainings that I will go through. Um, but of course, they also too would wipe your mind. Even as a child, they will wipe your mind. So I didn't recall any of the earlier meetings with the Greys. Now we have positive Greys. A lot of people think that the Greys are just biological robots, but there are some Greys that are sentient beings that have souls. Um, and when you meet with these particular Greys, you can feel like the love. You can feel their vibration.
You say that you're the youngest of seven siblings, but what
Mhm.
did they experience? Do you know if any of your brothers or sisters have had similar experiences, and why you? Why do you think you were chosen? And did they know what was happening to you when you were such a young child?
They did have some experience with the Greys. They did not speak of it. It was just I want to say about 6 years ago, I found out that the Greys were visiting my mother. They were visiting my brother. Um,
And they
and this
remember
was
this now?
yeah, well, my mom, she's passed away 5 years now, but a year before she passed away, she was telling me about the Greys coming into her place. Well, my brother saw them. You know, they came, they portaled into the living room, and he just so happenly get this sense to go out. And this was probably about 11 o'clock at night. My mom was just going to bed, and my brother James, he went out into the living room. He was 24-hour care for my mother, and he just happened to, go out into the living room and just peek around the corner, and then he saw like four grays. There were two tall grays and a smaller gray, and then like a very young gray. And my mother, she was pretty much handicapped. She was diabetic and had her toe amputated, so she had this chair, and it reclined up, to her comfort level. It can lift her up, it can recline her back. So it had these buttons up there that the smaller gray, the baby gray, was fascinated by. And my brother said that he saw the baby gray just jumping up on the chair while these other grays are just looking at the baby. Now, of course, grays don't just knock on your door and ask to come in. They portal into the living room, and he saw that. So he went back into the bedroom where my mother was at. Shortly later, now this is what made me kind of angered me, because when he went back into the bedroom with my mom, he shut the door. Shortly later, there was a bang, like they wanted to break down the door. And after that, they don't remember anything. So, and I'm thinking that, they could have been in breeding programs, and the Greys sometimes often bring the children to see the parents. Now, I don't know if my brother was the father of maybe the baby Gray, or was that my mother child, because it doesn't matter how old you are, they have the means of even an elderly person, someone that's 80 years old, can still give birth to a hybrid child.
Really? I mean,
Yes,
are you talking about a human being, a human woman of 88?
yes,
How is that possible?
and it's something that the Greys can do, and we have seen this countless times where abductees, females and males, um, at very late ages in life, still giving birth. I think even Peggy King talked about this as well, where she was in her 60s and still having what she was dealing with the reptilians there, and she had hybrid reptilian children.
But I mean, how does that even work? Okay, so let's just say or assume or be open to an idea that maybe a woman of that age can give birth, even though the equipment shouldn't work anymore, maybe. But I mean, so if they are being impregnated by a gray or a reptilian, even, what will the baby look like? It cannot be human, can it? It would look like
Well,
a gray or something, and then they would see that and be quite shocked, wouldn't they?
I'm, I can imagine. I can imagine. I myself have been in certain breeding programs as well. Some good, some not so good, and we can get into that as well.
Do you have any knowledge of any woman giving birth to an alien baby that looks like an alien, or how does it work?
They're going to have certain features of human beings. Of course, the ones that look like us, they uh, get into a program that the government know about, and they get housed into human society. But they have to pass as human beings. They have to look more human than ET. For the ones that do not pass, of course, they go back on board ship and they take up certain jobs on board certain crafts.
So is it shapeshifters or somebody that can project another form in a way? And if so, and if they can do that, and we've heard a lot of people say that they can do that, why didn't they portray themselves as humans when they were visiting you in your bedroom at night as a child or whenever it was?
I have no idea. I'm pretty sure that these things do occur where they do look like. It all depends on your level of being able to handle the appearance of these beings. Of course, they do not want to put you in a state of panic, depending on who they are and what they represent. If they represent more light, loving, conscience, then of course they will change their appearance so that it's more pleasing to you. But if it's a reptilian and or a negative being and they have certain agendas, then of course they like that fear base that is going to be surrounded with you because they feed off of that type of energy.
So they took you on crafts and you weren't scared, or they projected a feeling of safety or joy, not a feeling, a frequency of fear or something. And they took you on these crafts and did what? Experimented on you, or what did they do?
No, I don't remember the experience, but I will tell you as I got older, from the age of 3, now I have a galactic implant on top of my head. And maybe next time if you want me back on, I'll show you that it's very visible because what we're trying to do, we're trying to bring transparency to human society. A lot of times people don't know what the white hats are doing from behind the scenes, but we're trying to break that transparency and bring clarity to humanity. Let you guys know that you're not just stuck out there dealing with these particular negative ET races. We are in treaties with some of these races, and sometimes those treaties get broken, and then we have to check some of these ET races. I also work with Solar Warden as well. But to get back to the when I was 3 years old, I had an implant put in there, and this was very visible. I have certain implants.
So you said that maybe another time we can see it, but why
Yeah,
can't we see it now?
because I have hair growing. I would have to shave
Oh,
my hair down so that you can see. It's very visible.
okay.
Yeah, it's right up under the skin, and I have certain implants from the Navy Alliance as well. Now, but my galactic implants, they can track me from solar system to other dimensions as well. I can go into another frequency and they can track me and locate me. And this has happened before. But when I was 3, that was the first implant was put on top of my head. And what it does when my hair grows, that particular spot where the implant is, it gives off a frequency. It gives off a frequency, and it turned that patch of hair gray. So I'm at the age of 3 years old, 4 years old, with gray hair over the implant, and no one knew what was going on with that. And I didn't find out that I had a galactic implant until I got older, until I started getting rescued by certain Galactic Federation groups.
What time
But
frame are we talking about? When were you born? I mean, were we in the 70s or the 80s, or when are we?
yeah, me and Max Spear was born same, just hours apart from each other. I was born 1976, and this was December 23rd. Max Spears and James Casball are pretty much a part of the same group, but we was born in different demographic areas. We was brought in under the same type of projects. They were in the UK doing their projects, and I was here in the United States doing my military projects and training.
Yeah, but didn't they
So,
also go to America to bases there or something, as far as I
yes,
remember?
yes. So,
Were you also put under mind control? Are you like an
yes,
MK Ultra
yeah.
mind controlled slave in some kind of way?
In the beginning, yes. In the beginning, I had to get both of light and dark to bring me to a path of where things, as I got older, it was going to be choice. I was going to either choose the dark side or I was going to choose the light side. I chose the light side. But of course, the dark is always going to pull you, is always going to try to persuade you at an earlier age. And I went through that. I went through the panic attacks. I went through, um, as I got older. Now, this is going to be very interesting. Let me cover first the implants, and I'll get into these warlocks and witches that used to ride me into other dimensions because they did not have access. They did not have that power. So uh, at 3, I got the galactic implant so I could be tracked and monitored as I grew up. Um, 8 years old, 8 years old is when I started retaining certain memories. As I got older, my brain was developing. I could remember certain things. Um, so this was when I remember being floated out of my window onto a craft, and I had when I'm on the craft, and this was recalled. I got recalled by listening to a certain podcast, and I think that was Leap Project, where this guy was on the show, and he was talking about um, when he was young, he would walk up under the street lights and they would turn off. These were psychic abilities. That was when you get visited by certain ET groups, your psychic ability is extremely heightened.
Like
Uh,
telekinesis.
yes, things will turn off on their own when you walk past them. Things wouldn't work anymore, like watches or appliances would just malfunction. They would not come back on anymore. And that triggered me when I was listening to him because I went through that as a young kid, where I would walk on the street lights and they would just turn off, and I knew I was doing that. Also, when this is going on, you also have a craft also following you as you are, walking down the street. That could be a craft as well, monitoring you. But when I got floated out of the window and I saw myself, it triggered this memory where I saw myself at the age of 8 years old, and I was on a metallic table. I couldn't move. I didn't have any restraints on, but for some reason I couldn't move. The only thing that I could move was my eyes and my head just a little bit. And I saw uh, two grays off to the corner, and they was doing something. So I had these tears falling down my eyes because I felt like this was going to be the last time I see my mom. I don't know why I felt like that, but I did. Um, and I had nothing on but underwear. Um, so the gray came over to me, and I got this female type feeling, like she was female. I don't know how, but I got that indication that she was female. So she stood over me, and she looked me directly into the eyes, and she projected all of this love. I mean, I've never felt so much love in my life, not at that level. And she was telling me it's going to be okay. This is what she was telepathically telling me in my mind as tears are rolling down my face, that I was going to be okay.
So is that
Uh,
part of being manipulative and something they
it,
do on purpose to reassure you and make you feel good, where it's really not that their purpose?
perhaps, perhaps. Now, we do have good and bad grades. At that age, I had no idea whether this was good or bad, but the love that was coming off of this being gave me the indication that this was something very positive. Um, and they do abduct and they do certain experiments, but I'm here. And I got to think that I'm here and I'm doing good things from behind the scenes. Well, not anymore from behind the scenes. I came out from holding on to information for 4 years, and I had that conscious decision that it's either going to be now or never, because I had certain attacks where they wanted to eliminate me. They saw Reptilians saw down the timeline that I was going to be a problem for them, and they made several attempts to eliminate me.
But is it still a problem talking about these things? A lot of people are talking about it now, and there seems to be more and more people coming out. We've had a lot of people on this show, and they're on other shows as well, and you meet them at conferences, and it's almost like becoming quite confusing. Who's telling the truth? How can they substantiate what they're actually saying? And are they actually listening to somebody else and repeating what they
Hmm.
experience? And are they doing it because they're like narcissists, or is it really coming from a truthful place? And that's where we are here. We want to get to the bottom of things. We want to really, we want the truth. That's why it's called Age of
Absolutely.
Truth. So that's why, we try to really go very in depth and ask critical questions, but certainly with an open mind. And you have to have that when listening to all of this. But I mean, so you decided to come out with this, and you did that. Why?
Well, I was talking to a military official, and they was like, "Well, if you're going to talk, because how things are set up on my behalf, uh, I don't have a non-disclosure agreement. Um, the Montauk, there's so many avenues that I can go down. I've been involved with the Montauk. I used to work for both sides, the Illuminati's and we can call them. They are Illuminati's, but some Illuminati people are good. They're not always dark. Some of them are good, and they don't. You got good people that have joined certain organizations that are high-ranking military. They don't like what's going on, but because of the organization that they are having to participate in, they are limited at what they can do and what they can disclose. So when the military assets that come in with these agreements of certain things can be disclosed, but I have no non disclosure agreement so I can talk, but it didn't matter to the reptilians. It don't matter because if you are going against the grain and if you are trying to disclose, then they are going to try and stop that. They don't want that out. For the longest time, way before I was born, you could not speak about the reptilians because they had certain agreements, certain treaties with the government.
Yeah, but
And
right now
if
everybody is speaking about well, not just the Illuminati, but about the reptilians, and I think that really became very a popular topic when David Icke came out and talked about all of this, and now everybody really talks about it. And it seems that all people that were involved in these secret space programs or secret military stuff, that they've all encountered reptilians in one way or the other.
exactly. Well, like I said, the reptilians have technology that they can see down the timeline. They're going to see who's going to be causing them problems. But we also have a positive galactic federation too that watch over humanity. Certain things cannot be broken. Treaties, you just can't kill a human without having major karma, and that goes for the reptilians and humans. You're gonna have major karma if you kill a human being in this particular Earth realm. How Source God has things set up. Uh, you kill a human being, you're gonna get karma. It may take a while for it to hit you, and sometimes it may hit you, right then and there. But when we started, when human society started seeing these reptilians and started speaking on them, certain intelligence groups like the CIA, FBI, and all of these other ones that are out there that people have no idea about, they come out and they have this campaign of discrediting humans for what they see, and they chalk it up as dream or hysteria, some sort of, they could be on drugs. They had a campaign specifically to steer people away from the reptilian agenda altogether. They didn't care about too much about you speaking about the crafts. But when you started talking about the reptilians because of the agendas that they had from behind the scenes with certain Illuminati groups, certain secret societies for thousands of years, that was a no-no. So, and if you work with the military directly, then you started talking about the reptilians, you would go under immediate threat. And if you didn't stop, then they will eliminate you just because of your being affiliated with the military. With us as military alliance assets, we didn't come under that particular net. So we could get away with certain things.
But a lot of
Now
people,
we
as
could,
I say, are talking about it now, and it doesn't seem to
yeah,
have very many consequences in that way. And a lot of people are just pushing it away and ridiculing them and saying they're crackheads or whatever, potheads, whatever
yeah,
they are, or just conspiracy lunatics or something like that. As you know, once you go out and talk about these things, people will say that.
absolutely. And it's all to discredit. This campaign is still going on. I mean, they have the intelligence community hire people, just like George Soros will hire Antifa people to, do certain agendas. And it's all to discredit or throw people off a track.
Black Lives
Uh,
Matter.
yeah, when all lives matter. So it's not just Black Lives Matter, it's all life. Um, in certain past lives, I used to be blonde hair, blue eyes, and I'm doing the same work. I work as an intelligence officer, and back then, I had a team working for the United States, and we infiltrated Hitler base. I was blonde hair, blue eyes, so I can pass as one of the Nazi officers.
So this what
Yeah,
you're talking about now, something that happened in a previous life that you now recall or remember
yeah,
or what?
yeah,
And
yeah.
you remember those previous lives because of regression or something you went through? How does that work?
I have like guides that take me into certain timelines In the past, sometimes I'll go into the future and fight Archons as well, with the Galactic Federations. But when I told my guys, look, I'm ready for more information. I need to get, they know I was always going to be doing this. I didn't know that at the time when I was young, but it was always going to be in my soul contract to come out and do this. Even my soul contract was going to be working with certain Illuminati groups as well, and creating certain altars that had special, unique abilities that could go into hulking out. And these are the super soldier projects. I didn't just go, I went from the Montauk psychic programs with these jump chairs to going into being able to jump into certain timelines and pass messages working for the White Hat. So I went from dark projects to light projects.
So so are you talking about you in this body?
Yeah,
You sitting there right now in that bodysuit?
yeah, uh,
So you were very
yeah,
young when that happened? Like a lot, I mean,
yeah.
this is like you were a child in the 80s if you were born in 76. And the
Hmm.
Montauk Project supposedly closed down in 83 and then eventually in 93. We know a lot. I've had a lot of people on here saying that it continued in one way or the other, but I mean, how would you describe it? I mean, we've heard from Phil Schneider and Al Bielek and Preston Nichols and all these people how that sort of well, the time frame of when the Montauk Project really were fully functional, the base, I mean.
It did continue. You can't always believe what is put out into the media because they put out certain things. It's like decoys for humanity. They put out decoys, even certain projects name certain names they put out like Bluebeam and um, all of these other military names that they pull out for people to take hold of. Now, it doesn't mean that certain things within those decoy names didn't happen. What it is that the original names are kept into like a quantum computer, and without those real original names of the projects, you cannot decode this particular quantum computer. But what we have now is names that are like put out like decoys for humanity. Um,
So Project Bluebeam is not really called that. It's this holographic simulate this illusionary holographic thing where they can project something that's not real and not there. That's how they mentioned that they were going to do with a fake alien invasion.
well, it's so compartmentalized. And like I said, they put out certain names for humanity. It doesn't mean that those particular projects within those decoy names does not exist. They do exist, but it is not the original name. Without and these the original names are held on the dark side of the moon, and they have more projects on top of that. So humanity don't understand that they're getting certain disclosures, but not full disclosure. It's not going to be full. You're going to get pieces of it.
Yeah, definitely. And we also want to talk about the dark side of the moon and what's going on there. But you were saying that you were like passing messages, and you've also said that you were passing messages to people in the future, trying to keep mankind on a positive timeline. But I mean, how does that work? How did you do that?
Okay, now let's talk about. I'll take you into one of the missions for the Galactic Federation Councils. I had to go into the future for this, and this was several years back. This is probably about it's probably about 5 years ago. This is probably about 5 years ago.
So this was not when you were at you said you were at Montauk. This was not part of the experience being in the Montauk chair.
Now, do you want to talk about the Montauk?
Well, I want to talk about all of it, but I'm just want
Okay.
to know if the your experience with the Galactic Federation had anything to do with your involvement with Montauk.
No, not this. Now, dealing with the Montauk is more Illuminati type stuff. This was both good and bad. Now, dealing with the Montauk was pretty much paperclip boys. These were Nazi programs helping the United States to kind of develop um certain psychic programs that could these psychics will be developed at a younger age to jump into certain timelines. So we went from having the Philadelphia experiments going on, where at the time human beings did not understand the physics of time travel and that capability. We just didn't understand that concept yet. And the Nazis did also develop a lot of this technology without the help of the reptilians and Greys. But the Greys and the reptilians could not always monitor what the Nazis were doing. They would give them specific things, and then they also too would sabotage certain things. So they did not want humanity to develop this stuff. It was only through treaties that these the reptilians had to at certain points come in and say, no, you're not doing this right. This is how you do it. But they couldn't come out in the open. So these bases had to be uh everything had to be engineered on the ground because the sun would kill us certain beings like the reptilians. So they had to stay in a low frequency. So they couldn't always work beside human beings because of the frequency that we give off. But over time, we started developing these psychic programs after many years of developing, learning how to jump and back engineer. But we needed psychics. They knew that if they did not have psychics on board these projects, then they were not going to be successful. They needed people with the light codes to be able to do these jumps. I can jump. I was doing this at an early age. This is why the Greys saw me as potential to go into these projects. But like I said, not all Greys are negative. They look at soul contracts, and they want certain people to develop psychic abilities and to do these psychic programs under light and dark. I don't want to call them agendas. Let's just say projects, learning and developing both sides of duality. So
But why
I
do you
did.
think you were chosen? Do you know why you were chosen? Isn't it usually people from a certain bloodline or children part of a certain bloodline? But if it didn't happen to the rest of your siblings, if you have seven,
Well, I don't know if they actually went into these programs. Now, at an early age, my mom lost her children under the foster care. So they probably did. They probably did. And I didn't know them when I was born because they were under foster care. There was four of them that was under foster care. And my mom ended up meeting my father, who were in the Marines. He joined the Marines, then he went into the Navy. He's now 88 years old. My father's 88 years old. Uh, and his bloodline, my grandfather was blonde hair, blue eye.
really?
My Yes, and my grandmother was in the occult. And I
Oh, so
talked
in
about,
that way, you do have connections and blood
yeah,
ties to the
yeah, and
Illuminati circles or what?
yeah, and they had money. They had money. And my grandmother, I don't speak her name. I don't speak her name because she was into the black magic type stuff. She was into it. She also owned a salon. Um, but my mother told me about her. I've seen her before, and she was mean, man. She was mean, just like my grandfather, the blonde hair, blue eye. He was also in the Navy. Yeah. So my father, he grew up during the era of the Philadelphia experiments. He would tell me certain things. He didn't tell me about that, but he told me certain things that happened. Uh, but he wouldn't open up. He wouldn't open up to me. He even sued um, the Navy and got a little money, but they monitor him for a long time. But my father is a pedophile.
Your father is?
My father is a pedophile.
And
Yes.
he molested you as a child.
No, he molested the girls
Well,
on his side. Yeah, all of them. All of my sisters on my father's side. Um, they don't want to have anything to do with my father. We,
no wonder.
yeah, but my sister on my mother's side, she go over there and she talk with him. He's no longer like that anymore, but you can't just dismiss everything that he's done. That's the whole thing. And, my father has 32 children.
32 children.
My
What?
father, yes, yes.
Are you
And I think,
kidding? He's been
yes,
a busy man, has he not?
yes. And I think most of them have been in military projects. Now, I didn't want to disclose this because I'm going to be writing a book later, but I'll do this for you. You guys are doing a phenomenal job with your channel and for the truth movement.
Thank you.
I was kidnapped at an early age with my sister that's going through some things now. Uh, so, and it was a family member on my father's side, um, and he was my half brother. He was my half brother, and he was taught. He was he was in military projects, MK Ultra. Um, he not only kidnapped me and my sister, but he molested my sister. I'm not going to say her name, but he molested her, and she's now still going through trauma. Her mind isn't right. Um, and I'm watching over her now. I got guardianship over her now. Uh,
So
but
she's psychologically, um, well, imbalanced, or I don't know how to say that in the
yes,
nicest possible way because of that trauma. Is that what you're saying?
yes,
And did
yes,
he also molest you?
no,
So you haven't been through that.
no. But what I can say is that my brother, um, he learned this stuff by watching my father. I was raised by my mother. I wasn't raised up on that side of the family. If I had been raised by them, I probably would have been. My father was targeting females, um, and that's why he have all of these kids.
But you know, a
Uh,
lot of MK Ultra programmers, so to speak, are those
yeah,
who participate in satanic ritual abuse or molest their own children or other people's children. Are, it's not necessarily just girls; they do it to boys as well.
yeah,
So, and a lot of people
absolutely,
that's been through similar stuff like you, they have had those experiences actually.
yeah, absolutely. And I feel like my mom watched over me um, to get me to the point that I'm at today, to be a white hat, infiltrate black hat movements, infiltrate their programs, and to bring that information back to humanity. I've been on so many missions on planet and off planet, going into other timelines, fighting Archons, killing Reptilians, rescuing children from Luciferians. And these particular Luciferians, they own and operate NASA. I ran into those guys. I'll tell you about this one mission for the Galactic Federation Council.
Yeah,
So
thank you. And also, just when you do, please also address what you just said, that you've been killing reptilians, you've been fighting Archons, and rescuing some children for the Galactic Council. So please, when you go into that and explain that, also tell the difference between how you experience the difference between Archons and Reptilians, and if they are the same, or Archons take or inhabit a reptilian, or is it two different entities, one interdimensional, the other extraterrestrial? And did you experience this on an astral level, or was it physical, like you sitting there now? That was a lot to hit you with, sorry.
some of this is going to be physical. Some of this is going to be missions that where we go into the astral realm. Now, the astral realm has a different, unique plane. It's a playing field for different entities it's a shadow realm to this realm, and a lot of entities bleed over from the astral realm into this realm, just like NPCs. NPCs sometimes start out there and then they bleed over to our reality, and these are people that do not have souls. They have been programmed by Archons to come in and cause as much chaos and division.
Human
And
beings, you mean?
yeah,
Certain human beings.
they look human. We call them NPCs because they do not have a soul. And for the human beings that do have souls and do most of like the game stalking is ran. The Archons have attached energetic cords to these particular people, and they have low conscience. So they don't know anything about this. They look away from this. They are encouraged mentally by many means where reptilians would attach cords, and they persuade or use a low conscious human like drones to seek you out and just to mess with you, to throw you off your track, or to lower your vibration by pissing you off. So and that, when your frequency is low, then your conscience level is low, your empathy level is low, and that's how they want all humans on the planet, is to have a more lower conscience so that they can continue on with these operations. But I'll get into going into the future for the Galactic Federation. Then I'll talk about white hat military movement going into second density to retrieve a female that was taken by a being. I did not like going to second density. It was extremely harsh on my energetic body. So we get a call from the Galactic Federation councils to go to a home where these two toddlers, I don't know if they were twin, but they were very similar in how they look and the age. So I don't know if they were maybe a year apart from each other, but they look similar in nature. Now, we got word that the Greys were coming to abduct these children, and they did not have a soul contract to do this. So a lot of times we stay out of, if they have a soul contract to do this, we stay out of it and let them proceed with their contract. So I pop in to the home of these black toddlers. Their parents are fast asleep, And these toddlers, these two boys had to be maybe 4 or 5 years old, and they were already making their way down the steps. So that's why I pop in, I grab them, and then I take them back into their bedroom. I did not bother to wake their parents. We allowed them to sleep. I just would have scared the fuck out of them anyway if they know that I was in their home. So
Physically in their home.
Yeah, physically. And I'm gonna tell you something else that happened after that. There was a retaliation that happened after that by Luciferians. So when I pop in, I grab these two boys. I already had my the mission. I knew the job. So I take them back upstairs, take them into their bedroom, and I shut the door. By this time, the Greys had already they were in there and they were trying to open the door. I did not let them in. So they then went around to the kids' a window, and they were trying to open up the window. One of the Greys, he tried to get into my head to manipulate me. He projected like he was one of the kids. But when you're psychically in tune, you know what's going on. I never mind that. I did not let them in. So I actually went out onto the balcony and I started throwing the Greys off the this balcony part that they had like right there by the window. So they end up leaving. Now let me tell you the suits that these Greys had on. They had on tight one-piece suits. Two of the Greys had on blue suits, but the leader of that particular Grey had on a red suit. So keep in mind, because I'm going to be telling you what the suits look like with the Luciferians, the ones that run NASA from behind the scenes. These are the Nazi Nordics that run NASA. These are the Atlantean people that run NASA. 3 days later, after I protected those guys, that mission was done. 3 days later, Luciferians show up. Now, they tried to get into my mind. They're very, very psychic beings. So my mind represented a door that they wanted to get into. And they're knocking on the door. They're knocking on the door. And I'm not saying anything. I'm not letting them in. So they begin to bang, and they tell me that they're not going to hurt me. Then this voice from inside of me said, "Let them in." Very deep voice. So I let them in. 4 of them come in. 1 female, 3 males. All of them wearing red suit, and they were like military. You can tell that these guys were military. They had that military aura about them. They were very disciplined. So my mind, they came into my mind. I saw what they looked like. One of the rooms had a black and white TV on it, and it was like fizzed up out of station. So one of the guys went into that room and he looked around, and I'm watching these guys. They were blonde hair, blue eyes. Their suits were all red. They had, you see this particular strike down? Well, it was gold trim. It was gold trim all the way down their suit, and then they had a cape. The cape didn't go all the way down their back. It went midway to the back. And it had the Star Trek emblem, but it was, if you think about the Star Trek emblem, turn that symbol the opposite way. Turn it upside down. That's their symbol. And I think Space Force has this type of emblem. So Space Force has a Nazi side, and it also has a white hat side. People don't know about these two sides that Space Force has. And I'll get into, remind me to tell you about the time I met with Trump. So when they come into their the female, she got her hands behind her back, very disciplined, and the other guys had their hand behind their back. So the one guy is the leader. He came in, grabbed my arm, and he stuck a needle into my arm. So he gave me some type of vac, and this heavy, deep voice spoke from me and said, "It's not gonna work." And it didn't. I did get sick for 3 days. So they left out. They left out. They didn't come in. They didn't leave out the same way that they came in. They left out of that room with the TV in. So I got sick for 3 days. What they were trying to do, what that vaccine was for, is to turn off my psychic abilities. It did not work. So whatever voice that was inside of me, that higher self, was right. It did not work. I'm still doing these programs. I'm still psychic. I still go on military missions. But do you know Gary McKinnick, the one that hacked into NASA?
I don't know much about that story.
Yeah, well, he hacked into NASA and he saw non-terrestrial officers. These are the same non-terrestrial officers. They are human, but they're not from here. They are part of the fallen angelic human line. These are the Luciferians. These are the Atlanteans from the time of Lemuria. They're from that same group that destroyed Lemuria. And then they got destroyed because they were not supposed to do that. They got destroyed by other groups, other federations. But
What
they've
kind
been
of
here.
species are you talking about?
That destroyed the
Yeah,
Atlanteans,
those
or
people who are part of NASA, the Luciferians you're talking about, that are the Atlantean group going back to Lemuria.
yeah, they are Nordics. These particular Nordics have reptilian genetics, though. So
And do you
let's
think
take
all
it.
Nordics have that? Or, I mean, a
No,
lot of people talk about Nordics being these blonde, beautiful, blue-eyed people. I mean, or
yeah,
this human-looking kind of, but more ethereal and more beautiful in a way, right? Isn't that kind of how they're described?
yeah. So you have many Nordic groups out there, and some of them are very spiritual. They're like their Pleiadian brothers, and they do too work with Pleiadian family members. And then you have other groups that have they work for darker agendas. They do human trafficking. I don't know if they eat humans, but they do have reptilian genetics. These particular ones do have reptilian genetics. And
Because
then
they
you
were
have,
cloned, or are they originally? Is that another type of Nordic, or were they cloned with the
well,
Draco or whatever?
yes. So the Dracos in the beginning could not infiltrate the angelic human line, so they needed Pleiadian DNA to start. So they would capture a certain Pleiadians, and then they would interbreed with them, and then put their genetic line within the angelic human line. That became the fallen angelic human line. So you have the fallen angelics, which are um, the Draco reptilians, and then now our human line, the angelic human line, is now fallen angelic human lines, and that's because of the reptilian genetics within the human line. So they needed Pleiadian DNA to infiltrate. It's all about infiltrating, looking like us, being able to walk among us, uh, to infiltrate the human society and then take it over from the inside out. This is what the reptilians do.
When you talk about the fallen angels, or what is that? The Nephilim, the Anunnaki, and would you say that they're also reptilian? Some people claim that the
Yeah.
Anunnaki is a type of reptilian, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, yes. And they became that because of the reptilians. So the Anunnaki look like us. They look like us, or we look like them. Uh,
So the Anunnaki look human, but some people say they look different or really a little bit terrifying,
they
projecting
do.
themselves looking like humans or giants, actually.
And there are many different looking Anunnakis. It's because they like to breed or create. Uh, you know what I'm talking about. They genetic modify everything. They would genetic modify a human looking bull. Um, this is what they do. They go out and create, and they put their genetics into things, just like the Baphomet was created um, to be worshipped. They put these beings in place to be worshipped.
When you say
And the Baphomet
Baphomet, do you mean that that is real? That is some kind of depiction of Satan that can manifest in real time, or something you can see it or touch it in front of you, or is it a like a projection, or is it just fiction?
is not fiction. This particular being was created. Um, it's representing the transhumanism agenda, and this is what they want for humanity. At the top, the Archons are manipulating all of these groups. They're manipulating the Orions. They are manipulating the Dracos, and all of these groups are like henchmen for the Archons to go out do these monstrosities of creations to create these beings with low frequencies. And they're like a virus. They inject themselves into a society. It doesn't matter what type of you can look like a blob, peaceful blob on another planet. But if you are peaceful and you are high vibration, they don't like it. They are against the organic co-creation of source. So they invert everything that is good. They want it bad, and these are the archons.
And
These are
why
the
are they
archons.
allowed to do that on this plane? I mean, is it like this that we're in a matrix that's been like hijacked, or it's like there's like a prison net or something around Earth? Or I mean, what is this? This goes back to something we've discussed a lot on this channel about this Saturnian frequency or something. I mean, are we being captured here?
Well, this is what they want. Uh, they did. So Source already had a balance, and it is a matrix system in itself, but it is one where humans get to learn and develop and uh, to grow their conscience, to evolve. But these other beings also had free will, and they like that to feed off of energy. They didn't. Once they started doing that, once they started falling, they like being worshipped. So free will beings do not worship. They love unconditional. They work with each other. But these beings started understanding, well, we could be worshipped. We could be looked at as gods. And they did develop in a peaceful manner before they fell, but they wanted to break away from that. They wanted to become God. They wanted to become the overseers and the creator of different worlds. And this is what they were allowed to do because they had free will.
So
But
source is not, I mean, this is what a lot of people call God, obviously, or God mind, or the force, or source. But I
mhm,
mean, so that is not an all-loving source. That is not a very positive being. That is still a being of that works with the frequency, what, of dualism, dark and light, and bad and evil, well, good and evil, or what? Since they allow these archons to suddenly create a prison planet or to have free will to hijack this whole realm and let all of these terrible things happen here. Because why are we not being helped? You talk about a galactic federation that's good, but we don't see much of that, do we?
Well, the positive. So you have different federations out there. You have positive ones, you have negative ones, and then you have ones that are neutral. And just like the human society, most of these federations can be infiltrated. But the ones that are so loving and caring, they understand development, they understand free will, and they live by that. We have to ask for help, and we are getting help from behind the scenes. I can vouch for that because I've gone on missions, and it has to do with contracts, and it also has to do with not just soul agreements, but treaties that we all have. So the Illuminatis have treaties with the bad guys, and the Navy Alliance, Earth Alliance, White Hats, they have treaties with these positive groups, but they don't want to interfere in human development only if they have to. Like if it came down to humans being destroyed, then they will step in, and they've done this several times. You just don't know that Earth have been saved many different times by these federations from total destruction.
Yeah, but
That's
after
why
so much suffering again and again and again, they do these great resets constantly, and now we're facing another one if that's going to happen. Like we are these strange times right now. Some people call it the end times or whatever, but there's certainly also an awakening and people going into different timelines, whatever, or on different. We're like at a crossroad, right? But anyway, I'm just saying if this source, why would such a all-powerful energy force allow these bad entities to take over and maybe do a great reset again after so much suffering
yeah,
all over repetition? I mean, it's just like getting a little bit tiring, right?
it really is because I've been here for a long time. I've been here over 5,000 years, man.
Oh my God, you look great, by the way. I mean, for somebody of that age, and look look how buff you are.
I appreciate it. I'm always in training, but source know how powerful we are. If we don't look at the physical vessel as being us as a whole and just look at the soul in general, we can never be destroyed. Not even the Archons. The Archons can only feed off of our energy, but we are constant beings. If humanity could understand just how powerful we are, if we stop playing the victim mentality and come together as a unit, then collectively we can manifest anything we want. We can manifest the timeline that we want instantaneously, but we have to do this together. So all of the strains, all of the stress that human society go through is making us better. We are more awakened now than ever. So when COVID happened, COVID was supposed to be worldwide. This was supposed to be the greatest resets. Now we had a reset throughout history, and it was in different demographic areas where a certain and it was done by the Dracos or the Dark Forces or the Archons because that particular human society were developing way faster than what they wanted to control. So they will wipe out certain countries, and just so that they can reset their minds and implant false teachings into the survivors of that planet or that area. But this time, they wanted COVID to be the Great Reset. They wanted to knock off billions of people to control them better.
We're seeing the result of that very, very much these days, which is a terrible thing. But I mean, when you go back to talking about all of this reset, we're talking about this all-powerful force. Why is it allowed? Why is that allowed by something that's supposed to be really good, right? And to help humanity? Why do we have to go through all this crap?
If I was source, if I was total source, which we are source, and we can tap into it, source, I would have all of the clear answers, but unfortunately, I don't. The best thing that I can say is that uh, we are having to go through these learning aspects of ourselves to become better. Source know, and I know how powerful we are, and it's part of growth. It's part of growth. If we don't look at it with victim mentality, even though we see a lot of bad things, we see children being harmed, we seeing people going into slave colonies. Um, we see a lot of bad things that are happening, but it's making us better because we are becoming more aware, we are becoming more heart centered, and we are going out there in the cosmos and we are kicking ass. We're not taking it anymore from all these bad guys. They don't have the leverage that they once had. They don't.
Is the soul not complete? Is that not a perfect entity or thing? So that when we are being thrown back into this karma wheel incarnation cycle again, and our memories are wiped, and we cannot remember who we were, and we have to learn everything again and take on a new body vessel, vehicle
Yeah.
here for a while. So then we don't remember all of that, and we don't remember that maybe we are complete. So we have to be better. We have to make a progress. We are not complete, really, or isn't that just part of the illusion, the smoke and mirrors, and the thing we go through here because these archons are feeding on our soul energy and angst, anxiety, hatred, fear, especially, and that's why they want to put us back through this loosh eating thing here that we have to go through on this planet. Do you know what I mean with the karma wheel cycle?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, this system is going to be shutting down. Um, this solar flash is going to still going to be happening. This solar wave. Um, what I can say is that our DNA is going to be upgraded in everything that we did lose behind the Archons. And remind me to tell you where our memories are being stored because I did go to an Archon world to retrieve my memories. Once this solar flash happens, the people that are already awakened, like the star seeds, uh, the people that vibrate very high, we're gonna go into like a fifth density Earth timeline where the archons do not control, and we manifest at will there. I've been there one time. I've seen this particular planet, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, it's nothing different from our planet other than no reptilian control, no archon control, and everything is peaceful.
But what is the solar flash situation you're talking about? Please tell that to the audience.
Right. Well, the sun is an entity all by itself, and Gaia, Mother Earth, is an entity all by herself. She's ready for this transitional state where she wants to go into another high vibrational state, which is fifth density, is her next level. Um, with the sun doing this activation, um, not only is she willing to take us along, but she is willingly to separate part of herself for those that are not ready for this transaction. Then they go into a more harsher timeline. There's going to be two timelines that's going to be split. One with fifth density upgrade, where Everything is peaceful. We're free from the Archons control. We're free from all of the government structure. And there is another one where people are gonna, get that one world digital currency. They're gonna go into that transhumanism timeline, and it's just not going to be good for those that want to participate. But it is choice.
But what if you and I and a lot of the viewers, a lot of the people who are awake to a lot of these things, what if we find ourselves in the not too distant future in this digital currency world and all of the stuff you're talking about, and then we sit here and say, well, we didn't go to that blissful place that you're mentioning.
Well, that would mean one thing, that your oversoul saw that that particular version of yourself needed more lessons. Like I said, it's going to be for those that are ready. You have to be really ready. You have to be ready for not being divided by red or blue. We're talking about Democrats, Republicans, because that stuff is you having the collective should not be manipulated by dictatorship. So once you elect to vote, you're giving your consent for things to pretty much rule over you. And I was taught this at an early age, not to do this, not to participate in that. And that was a board craft, because with that training that I was going through at a young age, I was told not to have dictatorship over me, that if I did, then it takes me into negative beings being over me. And they know what you're doing. So everybody that votes, they know your name, they know where you live, and you're entering into a soul contract. That's what that is. The government structure have never given humanity anything to uplift their life. If anything, they give you crumbs, and then they take more than they give. They absolutely take more than they give, and then they govern over you.
Yeah, all of
So,
that
and
is,
then,
of course, a lie and smoke and mirrors and an illusion for people to think that they have a say and they can vote and everything changes. And they always make these promises and they break them and all that. That's the usual cycle. And it's always like 49-51 to whatever party when the votes and the ballots and all of that. And then, of course, it changes. Reptilian Republicans and
yeah,
Democrats, just it switches and it's just the same. So all of that is part of the New World Order plan, right?
absolutely. And I could tell you the symbolism behind red and blue, Democrats and Republican. It's bloodline related. Two families. Okay, so let's start with the Democrats. The Democrats is blue. Okay, so you're dealing with more draconian reptilians that lie and deceive. We all know that the Democrats are for slavery. We know this. It's a history behind that. So the blue represents the blue bloods. They are blue blood. They're copper based. So the Dracos represent Democrats. Okay, the fallen angelic. The Republicans are more or less oxygen-based blood. You're looking at a human, fallen angelic human. Okay, that is the Nordics that have reptilian genetics in it. So they are the but because of them being more human, more Pleiadian, they are oxygen-based blood. That represents the Republican. No one has figured that out. I've learned this at an early age, that red and blue represents these two families, these two fallen families. Democrats, Draco, copper-based blood, and the fallen angelic human lines are the Republican. They're more not going to say positive. They're a little bit more positive than Democrats. Uh,
But I mean,
but they
those politicians who decide to be either a Republican or a Democrat, they still participate in the Bilderberg meetings and the trilateral
absolutely,
commissions, the round table stuff, and the rituals or whatever they do, infiltrate all of it, part of the different bloodlines, the European royals, and all of that
yep,
are part of or linked and related to a lot of the presidents and the different political candidates in America.
absolutely. You nailed it.
So it's all the same.
It's all the same.
So you cannot say
Absolutely.
that more is red or blue or whatever they bloodline they're whatever they're from. I mean, it's the same, right?
And they encourage fighting. These
Yeah,
two
of course.
bloodlines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they
it's the
encourage
that's the Hegelian dialectic, divide
yeah.
and conquer, splitting, and it's problem, reaction, solution, tactics, strategies that they
Mhm.
use all the time to, I don't know, to entertain people thinking there's a conflict and then they will change it for the better. Of
To
course,
keep mankind separated and divided. That it's all divide and conquer. These
absolutely.
two, yep, these two families do that. Now I can tell you about I did tell you about the Galactic Federation mission with
Which
saving those
happened in
two.
the astral, right? Just to clarify that.
No, this was the here and now. That what I found out is that the those two boys were going to go into a 20 and back program. Now, what particular program this was going to be, I don't know. I didn't have that detailed, but I knew that the Federation needed me to protect those boys. Now, if you want to talk about the astral protection, I could talk about that where the Grays try to
I'd
take.
love to hear about that, but please just stay with this for a second. So the Galactic Federation happened in physical form. You sitting there experienced that. How did you experience it? In what way can you physically experience that? How were you taken there?
Okay,
What did you see? What are the who are the members of the Galactic Federation?
there's many members of the Galactic Federation. They are a conglomerate of different ET species that had to go through some of the same similar things that we're going through right now with negative ET invading races to join uh, together to create. You're talking about Lyrans, you're talking about Pleiadians, you're talking about mantis beings, you're talking about positive grays, and there's some other beings, plasma beings that are on board. You have aquatic beings. These are, you're talking about a massive group of ET races that is a part of a positive change, and they police um, the galaxy. They police timelines. They police not just Earth realm, but they police a lot of different places out there, like their own places where they live in different dimensions.
Well, we
So this
don't
is
really feel that help very much, do we, here on this planet? We'd like a little bit more help, wouldn't we?
well, I can tell you this: if they weren't here, you would not be able to talk to me right now. That is guaranteed. You would not have the privilege of being as free as you are right now. A lot of people would be openly. Now, once you go down in density, and this is where I'm going to be taking you next to second density, where I did a mission for the Navy Alliance. You get down there in density, um, like second density, those are harsh places where open ET, negative ETs vibrate at that low frequency. They are there.
I would really love to hear that, but please do address my other question. How did you get to the Galactic Council? How is that possible physically? Were you taken there through a portal or what? Or a craft, or how did it happen?
Yeah, they can show up, or I'll get like a download where and sometimes I'll just step into another frequency. There's been times where I could be beside my wife on the couch, and I'll get a call to step into another frequency. And she could be talking to me, and I don't hear her because I'm being occupied in another frequency. I'm talking to beings that are right there in front of me, and I'm seeing their ship. I'm seeing that I'm on board their craft, but I'm in another frequency.
So you're
And we're
sitting next to your wife. You're married, yeah,
yeah,
and your wife is not part of this or does not have these abilities, or
she's seen things. Yes, so she's seen things. Dealing with a lot of negative things. With that part of my life, where they keep her conscience a little bit low. But I don't want to get into that depth. Let's just
so
say,
that's not a particularly easy situation, as it would maybe not be being with somebody like you claiming all of these things, obviously,
yeah,
if she does not have those experiences.
yeah. Well, she has some, but she deal with certain other things.
Okay. All right. So you can be sitting there next to her watching a movie on Netflix or something, and then suddenly you are in front of the Galactic Council.
Yes, absolutely. And we discuss certain things pertaining to Earth, certain agendas that are going on, and if we need to step in and address those agendas that are playing out, then that's what we'll do. But when it comes to dealing with certain missions, I'll go aboard. They'll beam me aboard the craft. I don't like being aboard craft. I like doing it, other ways. But we'll sit down with many other beings. I've been in front of a small frog, a frog about that size, and it has surveillance equipment. And we communicate. We communicate with each other. There's many beings on planet right now that you would think that are Earth-based beings, but they are blending in, and they work with many federations out there. They surveil, they take notes, and they infiltrate to help us, just like the Black Hats do.
So a frog will be a
Yeah, or they'll come and to my location and take me elsewhere. I've had certain beings like little small frogs meet me and my comrade, and where he is given a craft, and this is the astral realm. We'll meet up here, go into the astral realm, and then they will give me surveillance equipment. So, and this is, man, I'm telling you, this is so nice that how we operate on all of these levels of frequencies.
Mhm. It's probably going to be quite a lot for a lot of people to take in
It is.
all of this, but we'll try, and I have an open mind, so
Yeah.
I'll go anywhere with you for these couple of hours. But you talk about these things, and you say that you killed a reptilian and that you fought in underground facilities for rich families.
Well, that's kind of a split. Now, the reptilian that I psychically killed, uh, this particular Draco, this was Draco. He was on board a craft right outside of Earth atmosphere for 3 days. Now, I watched this being for 3 days.
In the astral, in your
No,
mind or whatever.
this was not the astral realm. The Illuminati's, you got to understand what really goes on from behind the scene, and how the white hat military works, and how these Illuminati work. They give certain human beings to these reptilians that wait for the signal to come in and take these humans off planet. This is the galactic slave trade that you hear about. This is real. This goes on. I mean, you can hear about some of the human trafficking in the news media now. Well, back in the days, you didn't hear about that. People started finding out about certain organizations within the government dealing with social service that would take children into these underground places. The Catholics were doing this as well, but there was other government programs that will also do this as well. And these children would never be seen again. And they were breeding humans underground for decades until we started going into these underground bases. So this particular Draco, I saw him psychically because we're trained this way to monitor the planet. So I saw him that third day. I acted. So I psychically went, like it's almost like remote viewing this being. And he's sitting, this Joker had to be like 14 feet tall. And he's sitting at his on board the craft in his seat and just watching Earth. Now, this Draco, he could have been attaching energetic cores to people because they feed off of energy that way as well.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi, can you hear me?
yes, sir.
What a crazy thing that happened here.
Yeah, once you start talking about the reptilians, yeah, they don't like that.
Yeah, but I mean, we talk about them all the time. So I mean, this is like unbelievable. I don't even remember where we were. We were all over the place. I don't know if you
Yeah,
can guide us back to wherever we were.
yeah. I was talking about the reptilian craft that was outside of Earth atmosphere. Do you want me to leave that alone, just in
No,
case they?
no. Listen, we've been talking about this all the time. This is no.
Yeah, we run into a lot of this stuff. Yeah. So the reptilians, we what I saw out there outside of an Earth atmosphere, and the third day I acted upon going up there, seeing him aboard his craft, and I got the indication that this reptilian needed to be eliminated. So I psychically killed this reptilian, taking the head off of this reptilian. You just can't when you kill a reptilian, remove the head so it cannot regenerate. Because if you leave the body intact, if you leave it intact, it's going to because it has nanites in it, and the nanites reanimate him. Yeah, so
Regenerative.
yeah, yeah, and we have the same thing in these bio labs. I've gone to a couple of bio labs here on Earth, and they're under this umbrella net as well, where they're experimenting with stuff like the Morgellons and Lyme disease, where they reanimate things of that nature. They rewire the body using they use black goo, they use nanites, they use Wi-Fi uh, technology through the cell towers to program and reanimate corpse. I have a whole thing of it on where scientists are talking about the same thing, but the scientists don't know that I've actually gone in to certain bases and seen this myself. Now, this one base that I went into, this bio lab, um, there was a rapper there. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to say this rapper name, this entertainer name. I don't know if he's endorsing this bio lab, but they showed me this reanimated corpse. I don't like calling them zombies. I like calling them reanimated corpse. Well, this reanimated corpse was programmed to run around this rapper and target me. They were showing me that these reanimation corpse can be programmed and they can do all sorts of things. Now, don't look at these corpse as like how you see zombies where the skin and stuff is falling off. They have black goo in them that regenerates the damaged cell. It repairs them. You would think that these people are alive, and they're not. The soul is out of the body, but the shell can be programmed using Wi-Fi technology, frequency towers.
But I mean, that does not have anything to do with you psychically killing this reptilian, right? This is just another experience you had
Yeah.
looking into whatever or remote viewing this laboratory or what. But I mean, just going back, just to end with that thing with killing the reptilian, you took the head off. How could you do that psychically?
Well, there's a lot of powerful psychics out here, and we are trained to do this, not just by the federations training us, but we also have military training as well with psychic programs. I've been trained to work with certain CIA as well groups out there too. And I can get into some of the missions. I turned down a mission to eliminate some drug dealers. But to get back to it, we all are trained at top-notch levels to do this, not just remote view, but to harm or to eliminate threats.
To slay somebody in the something or an entity in the astral realm?
Yes, we can do that as well. Now we're absolutely more psychic in the astral realm, because we're more energetically in tune with these the light codes being turned on. Now in this particular density, it can be a little bit but your abilities are just like muscles. If you train if you train a body part, it'll become stronger. It's the same thing with psychic training. This is the same thing that the CIA have done. The same thing that the Montauk have done. The same thing that the Navy Alliance are doing. We are in psychic programs. They call us assets, psychic super soldier assets. A lot of the SSP people are trained to be psychic. Some are psychic assassins. I have not gone into that program
So
because I
you're
refuse.
not a so-called super soldier.
No, I am a super soldier, but there's many programs that you go into. They have many divisions. Some go into like black type projects where they're just trained for espionage and and um, psychic assassins. Okay. Now, I won't harm. This is my last incarnational cycle, and I don't want to kill a human being. So I'll leave that type of thing for someone else. They can participate in that. But I will eliminate an ET. For some reason, Source God has it set up within this particular Earth realm. Uh, you don't get a lot of karma behind that, but to kill a human being is major karma. It is extreme karma to kill a human being. And this is set up by Source. Source set this up.
But you can kill a reptilian, but if they're so developed, or I mean, psychically well developed and can sense things and read people's minds and project thoughts into people's minds and be so, overpowering in that way, why didn't it sense that you were there and stop it and prevent you from killing it?
It did sense that I was there, but it had no power to stop that particular psychic attacks. They cannot meet us on that particular level. Not all reptilian beings are going to be psychic. Now, if they devour a human being like one of the psychics, then they ingest our abilities. Then they become more aware. They can tap into our abilities. And like I said, I'm thinking that this particular reptilian, either he was going to attach energetic cords to certain individuals here and siphon off of the energy, or he was going to pick up human slaves because they deal with the Illuminatis. They have agreements with the Illuminatis. So, and this is what I'm thinking that could have been occurred, but I knew, like I psychically knew to take out that being. And there's been other times where it happens in threes. So I acted on the third day, and there was a retaliation 3 days later by other reptilians.
What
Um,
what did it look like, or what do they look like when you have seen these reptilian beings?
Now, this particular reptilian being, he was 14 feet tall. He was huge on his ship. He was sitting down uh, in this seat, a seat that he controls the ship, and he was just staring out at Earth. His skin was dark green, scaly. He didn't have a long face. It was kind of like it came out like that, but it wasn't long.
Like a
Now,
snout, or
yeah, yeah, it was bulky in the front, what the mouth is, and it came down a little bit, almost like our face, but it came out just a little bit. Uh, it had on some type of a bracelet on his arm. This guy was built. They are built like bodybuilders. These things are like they're fucking huge, man. I'm telling you, they are extremely huge. Um, I didn't see if he had a tail. He could have had a tail. But he had equipment. He had a belt. He had a belt on. He had bracelets on. And I think that was it. I think that was it. I did see his feet. He did had you could see the
and did it
reptilian.
look ominous? I mean, were you like, was it like projecting a frequency of fear, or did it look horrific to you?
No, I let fear go a long time ago. There's nothing on this earth that can put me in a state of fear.
But that wasn't on Earth, what was it?
No, it was outside of the Earth atmosphere. Um, what else? I was gonna tell you something else. Don't let me forget to tell you about my Navy buddy and the Tic Tac that I that picked me up and took me outside of Earth atmosphere. You probably heard about this. I talked about this several times on. I talked about it on Journey to Truth. I was the first person to release the Tic Tac being one of our back engineer equipments.
Please explain what story you're getting into now.
Okay, now I'll talk to you about my best friend who's in the Navy. He served in the Navy, and I hadn't seen him in a long time, and I wanted to see him, and he wanted to see me. So, and he was stationed at the Navy docking station right outside of Earth atmosphere. The Navy have set up docking stations all around the planet. They're everywhere, all around the planet. This is for when ET races that come into our Earth atmosphere and they want to conduct business with us. I'm talking about fair trade business with the military. Uh, they can't get to the human society without having to go to our military. All militaries around the world have agreements with certain ET races to come in and do fair trade, and they all deal with the Navy. So my best friend, I'm not going to say his name, wanted to see me, and Tic Tac came and picked me up. The Tic Tac is like a shuttle. Think of it like a bus shuttle, but it has it pick up personnel, it pick up equipment, and it takes it all around the places. We can go to like different military bases. We can go to the moon. It's not really built for interstellar, but it can. It can go from here to Mars, but it's not built for that. It's back engineered, and it belongs to, and all military officials use the Tic Tac. Of course, it has cloaking technology as well. So when the Tic Tac picked me up, I went just outside of Earth atmosphere where there's a Navy docking station. So when I get on board the Navy docking station, it is extremely fucking crowded. And I'm talking about all types of ET races up there. They have on their own uniforms, and we're shoulder to shoulder bumping into each other. So when I get up there, I need to use the bathroom. And I'm trying to make my way to the bathroom. Think of this Navy docking station with all of these different mini extraterrestrials up there, like a crowded mall. I did get to use the bathroom. So on my way back, I meet up with my best friend and we go up to his quarters, which is his room. So he's up there, and I had to be up there for like a week. And I was off that night. That night, because I worked third shift, I was off that night, and it was perfect for me to go up there. So I had to be up there like a week before I say to him, man, I'm getting bored. He's up there with his girlfriend. He has his girlfriend up there with him, and my wife is down here on Earth while I'm up there. So when I say I get bored, I'm back here. And I don't know how they got it set up as far as like time travel. I don't even think time travel was I don't think it was used. I think the further we get out into a space will depend on how long we've been gone. But I knew I was up there for like a week. But if when I got back, it was only like 24 hours had passed.
And then you say you got bored because your wife was not with you, or what? Were you in
Well, he's up there with his girlfriend. Uh, and I'm like the third wheel.
Oh, and
Yeah,
and you
I'm
need
like the third.
and you were missing a little action, or what?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't get to talk to these extraterrestrials. I'm up there hanging out with him, which was cool. That's not the problem. But I think, when time passed, you up there with your friend, he got his girlfriend, and I'm up there, just feeling like the third wheel. I got bored. I wanted to do things. I wanted to see things, go places.
Well,
Because
you certainly went to some very otherworldly place and with a lot of otherworldly beings, so it couldn't have been that
yeah,
boring.
yeah. And it was an experience that probably needed to happen so that I can talk to people about that. The Tic Tac is ours. Now you're gonna hear other people talking about this now. I think Carrie Cassidy mentioned it, but I was the first one to come out and disclose about the Tic Tac being a part of the Navy shuttle station. And we transport equipment, we transport people. You think of it like a bus. That's pretty much what it is, a UFO, but it's a shuttle for us.
And it doesn't happen physically. It is some kind of an astral thing where you can be where you are now and then go out of your body, or what? Or-
No, this is physical. The Tic Tac, what we've seen this,
and where do you board it?
it will come and pick you up.
Outside of wherever you live.
Yes.
But that would be a little incredible for the neighbors to see, huh?
Neighbors are not going to
Darkly.
see this. Yeah, we use cloaking technology. We use cloaking technology. Neighbors are not going to see this particular craft. You cannot hear this craft.
So
Um,
when you walk into it, you suddenly disappear because you're walking into something that is cloaked. And
and it's done
then
at night. And it's done at nighttime. They pick me up at night.
which is
I was off
clever
the,
too.
yeah. And how you entered the shuttle. Now, if you're looking at this Tic Tac, look, think of it like a Tic Tac because it's built just like that. It's cream color. You can't see until it opens up on its own. You can't see it opens up on the side and you just walk in. Now, you can sit down if you like, but you can also stand up. I like to stand up. I don't like to sit down. But you can't feel. You can feel just a little momentum, but not much. And I don't care how fast it goes. You're not going to be thrown to the ground.
But if it has this invisibility cloaking, and you are going out there in the night to board that Tic Tac, how can you find it? How do you know where to enter?
They speak to me.
So they say now we are opening the ramp, and then you walk up. You just
Yeah.
think, okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna
hmm
try and see if this ha, has some firm ground under me.
Yeah, and you'll have there's one military person at the front. He's going to be driving that, and there's going to be another military person that actually come out and let me know that they are there, and for me to go ahead and aboard that. He's going to help you get on the craft, which really it's not that hard. All they do is just slide the door open and you just walk in.
And when you're
Yeah,
inside, you see the inside of the craft.
yeah,
Then it's no longer invisible, right?
right. But if say like if you were there with me and I walked in and it just shut, you're not gonna see it. You're gonna probably feel like a light hum, light vibration that it gives off, but you're no longer gonna see me at all. But I can see you.
Right. Yeah. So so you also said because when you were, I mean, there's so much to get into, right? I mean, so this is like we're gonna jump from one place to the other. But I mean, you said that was it your father who had like 32 children, but you also said that you had been used for breeding purposes, or were you used for sex or what?
Yeah, well, I can tell you about several encounters. One with the reptilian, one with the canine being. Um,
A canine, like a dog?
yeah, the Canis people. Yeah, they are in another dimension. These are Illuminatis from another, and they're positive Illuminatis too. These are um, uh, they come from another multiverse. These are the multi-verse Illuminatis. I don't know how they tracked me because I went from I jumped into another timeline where I was a college professor and I was teaching human but dragon people. So I was a human, but I can shapeshift into a dragon, not reptilian. Not like how Queen Elizabeth, she has human and reptilian genetics, so they can shapeshift. Well, in this other dimension, timeline version of myself, I was human, I was a college professor, and we go from human to dragon. So I had a classroom full of kids, and I was teaching my students how to shapeshift into dragon form. And they're good kids. They are really good kids, and they're a mixed group of kids. Um, so this mixed kid, I think he was mixed between black and white. Um, he came up, and I asked him to go ahead and show me what he can do. He was going into transformation, but he was struggling to nail his dragon form. So I go into it. I said, sit down, let me show you how it's done. And I shape shifted pretty fast. Now, this particular dragon form, I was on all four. This was an upright dragon, and I've been upright reptilian type of dragon being with wings in another timeline. So once that happened, once I went into my dragon form, the door opened, and what happened was these Illuminatis they popped in, came in through this door into entering my classroom. These guys were perfect genetics. I'm talking about perfect. The male, you would think that he's some type of GQ, should be on GQ magazines. You know what GQ magazines are? Yeah, like models. This guy looked like a model. He had on he had this jacket, you know, tucked behind him, nice shirt. You can tell he was rich. Nice pants, nice shoes, just high quality type person. And he was blonde hair, blue eyes. The female, oh my God. Now this girl, now I'm married, but this girl was perfect, perfect. Big breast, dressed very well, had the skirt on, very firm, thick thighs, just perfect. They both entered my classroom. He closed the door
Was she
behind
black
him.
or white?
No,
The
she was
male was
blonde hair.
white and blue eyed.
Yeah, yeah, she was white. Yeah, she was white. She also was blonde hair, blue eyes. So I didn't know who they were at first. So as soon as she saw me, now I was still in dragon form. I just showed this my student how to go from human to dragon. When she came in, she immediately went into her canine form, and that triggered me. It triggered me to go into my canine form. So I went from human to dragon to canine being very fast. It triggered me. When I see her, she get just a bit aggressive. She was testing me because she wanted to know if I was going to be a match for her to breed with her. The whole being for her being there, for them being there, is that they wanted my dragon DNA. They wanted an offspring that had not only canine, but they wanted dragon DNA. So they was there so that I can mate with this female. Now, when I went into my canine form, we get a little bit animalistic. It's nature that takes over. So I bit her on the back of her neck. I got her to submit. Once she submitted, she went back into her human form. I
While
stayed in
you
my
were
cage.
still a dog.
Yes. And I had to be like 7 feet. She was probably about 6'3". I was about 7 feet tall in my canine form. In my dragon form, I was huge. So once she submitted to me and she went back into her female form, she was laying on her back in the classroom, and the animal instinct took over, and I penetrated her. She was trying to get me to calm down as we're mating, because she's in a female form and I'm in canine form, and so I did calm down, and I, didn't go so hard with her, but I did not climax. And the reason why I made a choice not to give her my offspring, I just gave her pleasure. I did not climax because we have to be extremely careful. Even though they are positive Illuminati people, they're very positive. They're not like the Illuminatis here. They're real good. They're from a whole nother timeline. They're from like the multiverse timeline. But still, I made that decision not to do that because I didn't really know what they wanted to use that genetic for it, that dragon DNA. So, but they were good people. They were good people. Now, if I meet her again, might be a little different. Might be a little different. She was perfect, man. She was absolutely perfect.
Wow. You do know that a lot of people watching this will be, let's just say, a little bit either shocked or surprised or very skeptical about all of these things that you're saying, right? I mean, it's quite far-fetched.
Yeah, yeah. But it's time. It's time for people to wake up. We have a
But
big
what, but
universe.
what do, but what do you want to say to those people who question you and say that you're out of your mind and this is outrageous what you're saying?
Well, you see a lot of things that are coming out now. Crypto beings. You guys have really no idea of like what we do from behind the scenes. Like I said, I meet with generals, and they can also go into canine form. Um, I meet with other military people, like high military people. They can go into reptilian form. People have seen people shapeshift right here, right now, not even dealing with the other dimensions. This is how we are. Now, it's unfortunate that humans have been manipulated to not believe, but it's been kept like that by people that want to control us because they see humans as a resource. They feel like we're not worthy of this particular information. So they keep our conscience level low. That is no longer going to be happening anymore. Disclosure is coming in a major way.
But
Now,
most
look,
people won't be able to even grasp that. They don't even know 1% of all of this stuff you're talking about. Of course they do when watching this channel because we've heard, trust me, everything. But I mean, the regular population. That's what I'm talking about. Even people watching this will say, "Wow, that's a little bit of a stretch." Or a lot.
absolutely.
What you're saying, obviously, because you're all over the place. But you also say that you met several different versions of Donald Trump.
Yes.
So
Just like
there's
Joe.
not that there's several different versions of him, looking like him, hairdo and all.
Yeah. Well, we know that paperclip boys, they came into America. They started cloning programs, and later, this is way before people even knew about cloning stations. Later in life, people started hearing about people being cloned. Um, Family members will come out and say that that's not my son, that's not my daughter. Um, this is going on. The entertainment industry, when it was extremely dark and controlled by the cabal,
Well,
people
it
will
still
enter
is
in.
in some kind of way, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's being depleted. It's actually being depleted. A lot of things are coming out, especially like with the adrenochrome harvesting. There's a lot of operations here that are going to be eliminated. Um, you have certain Luciferian groups like the Atlanteans. They're into high technology. They want to create a utopia Earth. This is where you get the cabal fighting with other these two other serpent lines. Well, this particular Atlanteans, they believe in high technology. They're high class. They don't like crime, but they still like control. They don't like the cabal. They don't eat humans, but they are still into the trafficking. They are still into the adrenochrome. They're not into the human sacrifice. Some of them do dip into that, but the original Atlanteans, they don't do that. They just like control. They like high technology. So they want a utopia Earth. This is where you hear Trump talk about the golden age. He is Luciferian. That is his bloodline. That is his bloodline. He is Luciferian. And he dib and dab in both sides. He 1 minute he'll be a white hat, next minute he'll be a black hat. But when he first started helping the white hats go into these underground bases, so when his first term, he started signing a lot of executive orders because these underground bases, man, they were just getting out of control. These experiments that was going on, people being taken, um, people going off planet and never returning. They're going into slave colonies. And some were just being eaten like right on the spot by reptilians, and some grays would take the genetics, take the blood, and use the glands to feed off of our humans too. But they also were creating these human drones with to look like humans, but they had like mechanical things in their body. They were becoming like androids, and the goal was to come out at some point and begin to infiltrate the human society. This was the cabal doing this, creating all of these bases, had people in there that were basically there for like over hundreds of years underground in these bases, breeding programs under there. So when us white hats, we started going into these bases, we killed a lot of reptilians down there. We killed some grays that was down there, but we also saw children, Illuminati children down there. And once we started bringing them up to the surface, the sunlight would kill them. They'd never seen the sunlight. They never had the chance to grow that type of pigment to their skin. So when the sunlight hit them, it would kill them. It would kill them. But Trump, this turn, he turned on us, and then started working with some of the black hats. Started having these agreements with the cabal, and it was to start creating. This when you saw him with the Elon Musk, and you saw Elon doing the Nazi salute. Yeah. So when Elon joined Trump, this is when Dark Fleet had control over both of them. You're talking about
Yeah, but
the
wasn't he
Nazi.
always part of this? He introduced whatever happened in 2020, 21, the medical treatment. He is very, very involved with Israel and all of those
Yeah.
things as well. And so, I mean, it's not exactly just the savior that a lot of people, for some reason, still believe in.
And I told people this 8 months ago that Trump has free will. Of course, he was helping us out in the beginning of the white hats, but he has free will. He do not want to look weak in front of the other Luciferians. So he started having some of these cabal members, because they were fighting. His group, the Luciferians and the cabal, are different. He was fighting with them. So Trump, Putin, and China are like the new managers now, with the blessings of the Orions. The Orions didn't care at first. They just wanted Earth under control. So they are giving the Luciferians a chance at trying to control Earth instead of the cabal. But because the cabal are Draco reptilians, and the Dracos, they're a little bit more blood. They're hungry for blood, and they get sloppy behind that greed of blood. That's why you see a lot of dark things that was going on in Hollywood, and these underground bases.
With P. Diddy, you mean, or
Yeah,
what?
yeah. All of that is connected to the Dracos.
But didn't
And
you also take part in some of that with the celebrities, or you did whatever, a mission or something I've heard you say.
Yes, this is a white hat mission to infiltrate a celebrity party. It's a white party. Um, and I did. I infiltrated one of the celebrity parties on an island.
Was
So
that
when
Epstein Island?
I don't know. I don't have all of that details. But it was definitely one of those islands. It could have been one of Bill Gates Islands. It could have been Epstein Island. It could have been P. Diddy Island.
Yeah, but did you see any of those names there or anybody we would know of?
I saw a lot. I saw Usher Raymond there. I saw a lot of females there. I don't mingle with these people. The only time that I have to mingle with certain people, certain celebrities, is when I go on missions. So I don't know a lot of these up and coming. And there were young people, up and coming artists. We had up and coming music artists. We had up and coming YouTubers. There, famous YouTubers were there. Different rap artists, people were there. Some of the Hollywood people were there. So, and everybody's dressed in white. And I'm there mingling with people, but I also have surveillance equipment on me. I have recording equipment on me. And I'm corresponding with military white hat people. And this is advanced surveillance equipment. So I'm walking around and I'm communicating in the woods with these. There's other people out there that drinking. They're talking. But here's the thing: at night is where all the bad things come in. I didn't stay for the night. I was spotted. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you what happened with that. But I do want to tell you that porn stars are there as well. So there's a lot of young porn stars at this party. So as I'm communicating with the white hat, we have like code names. So I'm talking to code name Superman. So I'm on this communication device and I'm speaking with code name Superman. And this white guy, he looked almost like albino, man. He looked almost albino. He blonde hair, blue eyes. And when I'm finishing with my communication, this guy come up to me. He said, he whispered to me, "Why is Superman here?" And I try to play it off. And I'm like, "What? Who are you talking about?" And he just looked at me. He just looked at me. This guy is telepathic. So we have Nordic people at this party, and they could be on security. So he knew. There was no way for him to know that I was talking, communicating with codename Superman, not unless he was in my mind. He was telepathically in my mind. And I didn't anticipate extraterrestrials being there, but it makes sense. You're dealing with a lot of bad things that can lead into human trafficking there, or molesting of young children at nighttime, because this goes on in these underground bases. But he blew my cover. This guy blew my cover. He didn't approach me in a negative way after that, but he did ask me. He said, "Why is Superman here?" And I just try to play it off. And that's what I did until I got out of there. So I didn't stick around.
Uh-huh. So how about Trump? You said different versions of him and you met him?
Yeah. Okay, let's get into what the times that I met him, and then we'll talk about the this other stuff. Okay, so the first time I met Trump, Space Force wanted to recruit me. Trump himself, I didn't know at the time he wanted to recruit me because Space Force know about you. They know about you. They know about everybody on the planet. They have a huge database, and they monitor everybody. If you think the CIA monitor you, Space Force by far is way more sophisticated than most of CI in the intelligence community. So I get called to go to a Space Force, and as I'm checking it out now, I'm excited. I know where I'm at. I'm at one of the Space Force headquarters. So I'm sitting down, and this girl that's checking me in, she looks familiar to me, and I'm like, what is this girl doing here? This girl that was checking me in, she worked at my gym as a receptionist. So like when we go into the gym here and now, at my gym, she would be there checking people in, and she was here at Space Force. So I'm like, this is what I'm saying to myself. I'm like, why is she here? I didn't say anything to her, and I'm just getting checked in. And when I'm getting checked in, I look over. Trump is at this door, and this door has like steps, has like two steps down, going down. And he's looking at me, and he did like that. He just looked at me with that Trump face and clapped like that. So after I get checked in, I'm back in my my bed. So they took me, got me checked in, and then I was put back in my bed. The next day, I go to the gym. I go to the gym, and she's there. When I walk through the door and she's right there, she looked at me very strange. She looked at me very strange, like, do this guy remember what happened? And of course, I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to look like all creepy and shit. So I kept it to myself. But that look alone, like, she was wondering. She had that look on her face, like, do he remember what happened? A couple of days after that, I didn't see her no more. She no longer worked there. So, and it made me wonder, was she pulled from that? So, but she was there, man, and that was not a coincidence for us to
So
be in
this
two.
could not just be like a dream or a nightmare or something that you're imagining in your sleep. Like a lot of people, we sometimes conjure up or we imagine incredible things in the night that are otherworldly and totally unusual and not something that could actually happen, we
No,
think.
I actually have other team members um, that are SSP people, and we trained in the here and now. Um, I would share this email with you, but I have not. I would have to get permission from a certain person. So if you want to hear an email recording of how we train from one of the other guys that are with my group, I'll get permission from him, and next time I'll play that recording for you. But I have to get permission. I don't give
Right.
up comrades. I don't give up comrades. I'm very loyal,
Good.
but I am open. I'm open for the public to really get what's going on from behind the scenes. People really need to know that they got a lot of love, they got a lot of help, and a lot of people have died in these projects to try to help humanity along the way.
It's just that when
Uh,
a lot of people hear this in the audience, and we have had a lot of people on, it's very difficult for any of you to substantiate what you're saying, and there's very little proof, in fact, really any, right?
yeah,
So, I mean, you have to be really, um, you have to really trust what you're saying, and people have to see if they resonate with your all of the stuff you're coming out with here, because it's really unfathomable, a lot of it, right? So I mean,
exactly.
you must know that you're going to face a lot of scrutiny or people being very suspicious of what you're saying.
Absolutely. What I can say about that, take what you need. Things are going to come full circle for the ones that don't understand it right now. Um, Only take what you can handle, and then later, it will, register for you. But don't just stop at my information. Gather your intel. Gather. Don't just talk to one channel like your channel. Go to all these other channels, even if there are black hats that are putting out information to lead you away from certain things. Like this other person I talked to you about, that's very famous. He's been putting out information. If you want me to, tell you who this person is, I'll be glad. But he's very well known, but he is reptilian. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you indications of a disinformation agent that is in the UFO community and has grown exponentially. If they're always talking about positive ETs, that's a red flag, because we have negative ETs, we have regressive ETs that see us as a food source. If they're not talking about the human trafficking, which is a major problem, they're not talking about the adrenochrome harvesting. If they are saying that it is just humans doing this and they're all positive ETs out there, those are your red flags.
And they don't actually talk very much about the implementation of the New World Order, which is
Exactly.
which is out in the open, which is what we know is true.
Exactly. We have to address a lot of the bad things before we can get to all of the good things, because this particular Earth realm has been ran by negative ETs that want to be worshipped. They see us as a food source, and these fires have been burning for a very long time. And it's going to take time to put these fires out. It's going to take quite a bit of time, but we are making progress. So, and that's the thing. The more people that wake up, it helps bring us into an awakened state. It helps with the ascension process. So, and that's very important for human growth. We have to go through this, because there's other ET races that have gone through some of the same things that we've gone to. We are now, like Solar Warden, they have joined these federations. We operate on other planets. So, and I've been on those planets where I'm in military equipment, and my team after going through a battle with these negative beings, we got an award. And then after receiving an award, it was like a parade. And we was on another planet. Our whole military group, was out there. And we're walking, and one of the girls that knew me, she was proud of me, and she did her hand. She did a symbol like that. She pushed her hand out when everybody was clapping for me and my team members, indicating that, she see me, she loved me, she's honoring me. And, I just smiled, turned my head, and kept walking. But we went right back after receiving, this award. We all got ranked up, and then we went right back. There was no downtime.
So what is the explanation right now about the implementation of AI, and that AI is taking over everything? You even claim that some of these versions of Trump that you mentioned, that they were operated by AI.
Yeah. So there's an AI version of Trump. There's the Anunnaki went into before all of this, these Trump started popping up. Before all of this stuff started popping up, the Anunnakis went into a timeline where Trump was electing for more Luciferian agendas. Like I said, Trump was more positive in the beginning. He was helping the white hats. He had signed executive orders for us to go into underground bases and begin to operate. we was cutting the power to a lot of these cabal member operations. And this is where you guys started hearing about power outages was starting to develop worldwide. It's because we wanted to cut their power and then implement another system where we can monitor what's going on, tap it into the black hat information. But this time around, Dark Fleet started having these other Trumps pop up, and of course there were several Trumps cloned. The first Trump was threatened that if he didn't play ball, some things were going to happen. But that is not the real Trump that was beside Elon. Elon is not human. Elon is AI. He's AI. He's an android, and there's several versions of him. I dealt with Elon in the astral realm. Now I'll get into this too. Before me and my wife bought this home we're in, we stayed in an apartment. This is about 6 years ago, where I'm sitting down in my apartment on the couch, and I just happened to get up and go into the kitchen. And this is the here and now. I heard claws run across my floor. I had hardwood floors. I had claws run across my floor, and I'm looking and I don't see anything. Heard them, and I said, this is a reptilian. This is a reptilian because they can vibrate at 20% in our realm, but be 80% in another frequency. So I heard the claws run across my floor, and I never minded because I couldn't do anything, you know? That night, these guys were setting up, they was going to set me up for when I went to sleep. I was going to enter into the astral realm, which I did. So that night, I went to sleep, went into the astral realm in my apartment. I saw Elon Musk, and he had a med bed. There was a med bed set up between my couch and the refrigerator. So when I pop in, my higher self had already dealt with Elon Musk. I needed to see, in this version of me, needed to see what was going on. So Elon was glitched out on my floor. He's AI. He's not human. So as I'm seeing this, I'm looking at the med bed. Now, I wanted to leave out of the apartment. Now, in the astral realm, I can fly. I've been doing this ever since I was a child. I'll take flight. I went out of my apartment, and I'm at the second, I'm upstairs. So I'm looking at the balcony, and I was getting ready to take flight. This is the astral realm. As I'm taking flight, something is drawing me right back down to the balcony. And I'm like, who in the hell have the ability to stop me from flying? So that's when my psychic intuition turned on. So I'm looking over the balcony now, down into the parking lot, and there's a tree. There's where I see a Nordic girl. There's a Nordic girl hiding behind the tree, and she don't have long hair, but she does have is brown, and she have blue eyes, and she's just looking up at me, not with anger or anything, just looking up at me. And she was the one. She's very gifted. I give her that. She's very gifted. So I just go right back into my apartment. As I go back into my apartment, I'm still seeing Elon Musk in his android form, glitched out. As this happened, as soon as I shut the door, two reptilians pop in to the astral realm, and they're maybe 7 feet tall. One of them grabbed me like that. They grabbed me like that and just picked me up. And I just look the reptilian in the face and smile, and I pop back into my timeline. But what Elon wanted to make a digital copy of me. He wanted to duplicate me. And this is what is going on with all of these Trumps, all of these Bidens, all of these prominent people that are um, in power. They can clone. The med beds aren't just used for healing properties. They can actually make a copy of you and then control you.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot to talk about, and probably a lot still. But altogether, we've been talking for 2.5 hours now. And that's a lot. So maybe continue at some other time, and then you also had some things you wanted to share whenever if we do part two. But I'm just saying, I'm thinking maybe we should end with you like saying the best possible message you can give to the audience watching this, probably being skeptical and some being very open to it and having been informed by this, and maybe also address why you don't use your real name and why you're wearing the glasses.
Well, why? I'll start with the glasses first. Well, there's an AI that wants to duplicate us, and I speak on this very often. So when you show your eyes, that they have face recognition, and the one thing that they don't have, so they can duplicate you, but what they can't duplicate is the eyes. So when you get close, just like your fingerprint, your eyes are very unique designed. There's no other person on the earth with eyes like you, just like your fingerprint. But this particular AI system, it wants that. It already has most of our fingerprint. It already has our voice. It has our face and those features. But when you cover the eyes, they can't complete you.
Yeah, but
So
don't they have many versions of you, or have had any, every opportunity in the world to clone you if they wanted to clone you? And because some people might say he's wearing glasses so we can't see if he's lying.
no, well, there's many ways to detect if someone is lying. Um, I would say just get a feel of that person, see how genuine they are, get to know that person, see if that person is heart-based, see if that person is willing to talk about anything. If they
But it's
are
just
not,
when you see somebody's eyes, also when you're in front of somebody and having a deep or very good conversation with anybody, when you look into somebody's eyes, that is where you can sense the soul and the being and the truthfulness, or the connection between you and whoever you're sitting next to. This is, of course, on a screen, but still, when people don't see your eyes, they can't really get into that connection maybe with truly who you are, I suggest.
I would say just get to know me over time, study my information, then you'll know who I am as a white hat, a super soldier, Navy Alliance.
And you don't
Well,
use your name, you use this Ra name. We had another Ra on recently, and
yeah,
and when I spoke to some other people about it, they said, "Oh, there are many Ras."
absolutely. And that particular Arkham Raw, I did an interview with him. He's a good guy. He really is a good guy. He's been into these projects as well. And from a higher perspective, we are like representing the Christ light. We represent the law of one, and we're trying to with a lot of the things that we enter in on Earth, we go through these bad things and report back to humanity. That's what Christ warriors are. We have to go into the dark and shine light, and that's what disclosure is: going into the dark, speaking your truth, and trying to help humanity up. I'm
But
always going to
but wouldn't
represent
you
you.
stand even more in your truth? I'm pushing you a little bit here, but wouldn't you stand even more in your truth if you didn't cover your eyes and if you told us what your real name is?
I'm not going to do that because there are lower Illuminatis out there. Like I said, the first reason is there's an AI that's growing and it wants to duplicate all of humanity and take it into another. They want to trap souls. Um, but if you give it too much of yourself, then it has a lot to go on. With my original birth name, I will disclose that a little bit later because I'm going to be writing a book. But there are lower Illuminatis that don't get the memo. They didn't get the memo. You cannot harm a human being. So if I give them too much of my information, I might have a rogue lower Illuminati that's going to try to make a name for itself and then try to harm me or my family. So I
And
have to
but
be
don't you
extreme.
think they know who you are already?
The higher ones know, and they know not to touch. If a lower Illuminati see me get everything that you want me to do right now, I can't give every part of me right now until some other things are in place. I have to protect, myself and my family. I do have kids. I'm married, and I have to be extremely cautious. But what I can give you, uh, I don't hold back on. I don't hold back on. So, and I
Well,
got a lot of
it
information.
is also, but I think it's important to address it because there might be people saying, why doesn't he do this and that? And if I don't address it, then you don't have
Right,
the possibility to answer. And also, if it has
right.
to do with protecting your family and your surroundings and all of that, then maybe it's more understandable, huh?
Absolutely. And this has happened where you get these lower Illuminatis that are trying to make a name for themselves and they locate you and they get help. They get help. We get word that they get help. So it's not just rogue uh, people being initiated. Um, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. I have a lot to talk to you about. And I will disclose. I won't hold back. I won't hold back. But certain things, like when it comes to like me being infiltrated, I have to be extremely careful. And we'll get into the drug dealings. Um, we'll get into the underground prisons that these bases are located. So there's a lot I have to unload. I've been on Mars. Um, I've dealt with what goes on Mars. They have the crates that we use for shipping containers, the huge crates that we have, they take children into international waters and ships pick men, women, and children up. This is Dark Fleet. This is the Nazis. They are the biggest human traffickers on the planet right now. They take them to Mars in these huge ships once they get them out into our international waters. And they process them on Mars. I was killed.
But this is
I was.
really something we want to get into, right? I mean, this is like a topic for, where we want to get really in depth and do a longer thing about this, right? Obviously, this is like huge.
Yeah, but
And we can talk about all of the topics that we're going to discuss there. But your final words for our viewers, that would be nice. What is your message to end with here today?
the positive message that I want to give humanity is that we are on a positive timeline. I jump into a lot of future timelines. Things are going as planned, and this is no negative groups can stop what's coming. It was always meant for humanity to go through harsh times to evolve from. But this is the best timeline for everybody to be on. So just be excited that you are here and now, and you do have other family members that are on the other side. They're watching, they're rooting for you. Just be the best version of yourself in this timeline, and everything is going to work out. Remember to unite as one human race. Don't play with the red and blue division. Stick with the human collective, and everything is going to work out. We are going to manifest the reality, the world that we want.
That's a wonderful message and a great place to end here with those words. So thank you so much for being on. We had a long session. We're going to do more.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you
Great.
for all your hard work as well.
I hope you'll have a great day, and I'll see you again. And thank you, Raw Cloud, for being on Age of Truth TV.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Raw Cloud, and thanks to all of you for watching Age of Truth TV. You can support us by clicking onto our website, ageoftruthtv. And please like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell for notifications. You can also sign up for our newsletter on our website, ageoftruthtv as well. Please also subscribe to our alternative channels on BitChute and Brighteon. Your support is greatly appreciated and very needed. And on behalf of the Age of Truth TV team, we thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.